Greetings, YouTube. It's your favorite DM Fishsuit here, and we are live at my Twitch channel. On my Twitch channel? At my Twitch channel? You be the judge. With episode 13 of our Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. We just, killed a couple of wolves. No big deal. Well, we killed a wolf, I should say. If you want to catch up on any of these sessions, you can head over to the rest of our YouTube videos and look for a little show called Unconscious and Dying, where Vlora and I, who plays in both of the campaigns on Twitch, Laura and I talk a little bit about stuff that happened in our previous sessions, talk about D&D 5e, and make poop jokes. All the subs on YouTube are super meaningful, and you can head on over to Twitch, link in the description below to drop the follow on Twitch. Without further ado, let's join our players for a little Dungeons and Dragons. Hello. Oh, hello, everybody. I forgot how Discord worked.
Oh, hey.
I thought Zoom was boycotting us for a second. Okay, so before we started today, I said that all the gentlemen on this stream right now could be extras in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I feel like we all have like the hair and facial situation for it. But I think that Sunflower was right that Cleo would probably make the best pirate out of anybody, any of the characters.
Yeah.
Let's talk, before we get started. Let's talk about all the wonderful items that I've given you because I'm such a nice and benevolent DM. Let's talk about all the wonderful items that I've given you that aren't currently being used. So I think that the party as a whole has 3 wondrous items right now. I think you have 3 known wondrous items. There is the Wand of the War Mage. Great item for Kindar. Would be super great in combat. There's the Pearl of Power. I mean, that's definitely a Kindar / maybe even like Gusto, and Cleo could definitely get some use out of it. That gives a spell slot back. And then, of course, there's the Boots of the Winterlands, which, I mean, why would anybody need cold resistance down to negative 100 degrees here in Icewind Dale?
To be fair, that wand we think might be cursed. Just saying.
That's true. That's true. The wand might be slightly cursed. You're not quite sure how far that extends. However, the boots in the bag.
Hey, Kindar didn't want to. He's a respectable gentleman and didn't want to be rude by like just taking these boots and just shoving them on his dirty feet. The moment this woman handed it to him.
Why are his feet so dirty?
Because we've been walking a lot. we have not stopped for any sort of bathing.
Yeah, everybody's feet are just like.
What have you been doing in the hotel rooms?
I'm getting my full 8 hours of rest. Thank you very much.
I just picture Cleo taking a hot shower, getting in a robe and slippers, and just like soaking it in.
Kindar's dirty feet just sticking out of the bottom of the bed sheets. All right, guys. So, end of the last session, we just got into the Frost Giants Lodge here, and I think it might have been you, Sunflower or Cleo, called it, where you're like, I don't want to get in there and have them flank us. It was either you or Kindar basically said something like that, where you're like, we're gonna go in here and one of the wolves is gonna come around and flank us. And sure enough, you get in there. The male wolf, Kanan, is ready, raring to go, bares his teeth. Combat begins, and a few seconds later, the female wolf, Corin, comes around the back, and the only people in the back at that point were a couple of the townsfolk, and maybe I think Cleo was kind of back there, but didn't make sense for the wolf to attack her because the townsperson was right there. So the wolf snuck around you guys, and just because I could not let a juicy AoE like that slip through my fingers, did this icy breath on a bunch of people. Kindar got knocked down. A couple of the townspeople, I believe, right now are unconscious and dying. Even though it doesn't show that they are, I believe that they are.
I think we did spare the dying on them.
Okay, so they're okay. Is that why they have the little like no smoking sign on them?
Maybe
Yeah,
they're unconscious.
Okay, so they're
not
just
dying.
unconscious.
Yeah.
So, and when we did our unconscious and dying yesterday, Vlor actually brought up something interesting, which is that I hadn't really thought about, because in the heat of combat, especially as the DM, you're like, there's a million things that are happening, and you're trying to keep it all in your head. But instead of like basically guiding bolt this wolf who Gusto is super pissed at, he actually takes the time to battle res Kindar in the middle of this combat, and Kindar, basically was able to cast a pretty devastating spell. What did you cast at the wall? Zune?
Scion Nova? Some kind of Nova, I think?
Yeah, it was because it was the AoE one, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it was Cyanova.
and that was a pretty. It's not like the battle didn't turn on that because it kind of already turned, but that was sort of one of the final blows that this wolf took. So that was really interesting to me to think about, and I thought about that a lot today, actually, because I'm a giant nerd and I think about D&D a lot. But at the very end of this combat, I think it was Edgar Jackson who got the final blow on the wolf and finished it, or
I thought Kindar
was
did
it Kindar
Nova.
who got the final?
He had, like,
I think
one
the
health left.
Cyanova was the final blow.
I think Edgar had hit it, and they had like 1 or 2
Yeah,
health
I
left,
think you're
and
right.
Nova killed it.
But the female wolf is way in the back near the mammoth sea turtle, and she grapples this townsperson and just looks at her fallen brother. Looks at her dead brother, looks at the party, grabs this guy in her giant maw, and fucking takes off. The guy who was grabbed is your favorite character. Well, maybe he'll return one day.
Yeah.
But so yeah, grabs the guy, takes off, and I'm gonna leave you guys to it. We ended right at that moment, so combat has just ended. What would you like to do?
I think Jordy would be upset with himself because he did not think about the pincer maneuver. So I think it would start off after he realizes God left. He'd be like, oh, like hitting himself in the head. Like, oh, of course, Jordy, of course they would pincer you. They're lying, giant talking wolves. Of course they wouldn't fight fair. And he's just like really upset with himself that he didn't stay in the back. And he's trying to like, he feels like he has to take like responsibility for the situation because he could have prevented it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's
And,
like I said, you guys kind of. It was possible that was going to happen, and some of you guys called it out, but maybe not to that end. Like, you might not have seen that end to it, where another one of the townspeople from Dugan's Hole is basically presumed dead.
I feel like
So-
Cleo would look around and oh no, go ahead, keep going.
He takes a mode to collect himself. He's like, alright, well, we're definitely not going to be able to catch up to it. So maybe there's something here we can use to try to lure it back. Because it clearly wants to be in this lair.
Maybe we can use her brother to do that. I'm sorry, that's all I could think. I couldn't think of anything else.
There's no dwarves around here except for Jordy. Come on now.
I would imagine him saying it.
Maybe we could resurrect your brother. You could call it back.
You were about to say Cleo was gonna.
Oh, well, different thought. Should we maybe explore this area before we just leave, or do we want to go after the wolf right away? Because what if there's more stuff in here?
Sunflower, I'm having some issues with your mic tonight. You're kind of cutting out a little bit. I don't know what's going on.
My mic? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it may be too far away again. I think that maybe it's set on a voice threshold that's not being.
Can you hear
reached.
me now?
I can. Yeah.
So close. Okay.
Just put it into your mouth and then talk.
Perfect. I was gonna say maybe we should should we explore? Do we want to explore the rest of this little layer before we just take off, looking for this wolf, or go back to the city?
I think we do.
Cool.
Yeah, that seems like a smart idea. Maybe there's even a good place for us to rest for a little bit.
So let's
Rest
talk
here?
again about the room that you're kind of on the very edge of right now. I'll read the flavor text again. This oval chamber with high walls of glittering ice resembles a sepulcher. I still don't quite. It's what we decide. It's like a religious, like an
think-
altar of some kind.
Like a
Yeah.
sarcophagus type thing, because it was
Okay,
supposedly a
okay.
dead body or something like that.
I think of like those big stone kind of little shrine buildings you see at a cemetery, and it has like a
Oh, like a
little-
mausoleum almost. Okay.
That's what I think of. Something similar, but probably not like an actual full building.
The frozen, hacked up corpse of a frost giant lies on the floor, entombed in translucent ice, and looming next to it is the chiseled throne. In the throne's backrest is a large rune.
Should we melt out this giant? Just kidding. Defrost.
Where was the rune?
It's on the backrest of the throne.
I want to go sit in the throne.
Uh,
You guys don't watch.
Do I see him going towards it? Because if I see him going towards the throne, I'm gonna try to beat him to the throne.
Jordy's going to try to look behind the throne, but it's probably not. It's definitely not going to get there.
So you guys both can get into the throne at the same time, basically.
I started
My
going
way.
faster.
Range
I
Range
pushed her
decides
out.
to join in a little bit, see if he can get in there too.
Picture two people just trying to squish into one chair.
Oh, it's the ranged guy.
It's Range. Yeah, Range made his way in.
He's not even concerned about his brother Melee.
Nope.
Uh,
He saw people running and just took off.
all right, let's just reveal a little bit to Jordy here. You can see another little hallway down there.
Yeah.
Cleo and
Gusto.
Gusto. I imagine Gusto had the head start, but he's got that heavy armor, and Cleo's kind of a little bit more nimble. So you guys get up and you kind of like are wrestling each other into the seat of this throne, which is massive. Like you can both easily sit down in it without even like getting close to each other. Basically, it's a giant sized. You guys both, as soon as you sit down, you feel like the magic of this throne. Like you're immediately aware of the magical nature of the throne that you're sitting in. You're not quite sure what that means exactly, but you know that there's something here that is.
Can I cast Identify to figure out what it is?
Tell me about
'Cause
identify.
Do you want me to just read it
Yeah.
verbatim? Cool. You choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use or how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. And if you instead touch a croak, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely you could.
I do that.
What do you think that looks like for Cleo casting that magic?
I picture her probably like looking around at this throne and then probably just putting her hands out and just like letting it happen. Both hands out. Oh, magic.
What were you gonna say, Jordy?
While she's casting that, can Jordy like take a? I think he would want to look at the throne itself, like the physical, like what it's like the. I guess masonry. Is it stone or ice?
No, it's actually made of ice.
Ah.
Yeah, it's actually made of ice.
I'd
but
also.
it's a nice try to
Okay.
use your stone cunning. You got to try to use it whenever you can.
I thought because we found that weird Dwergar activity back there. I don't
yeah,
know
okay.
where the hell these little things could be.
Also, while she's trying to cast that, can I stick my finger in her ear?
You give her a what, Willy?
Ooh.
Yeah.
A frozen
It'll be
Willy.
like a frozen Willy.
Okay.
Does she have to make a concentration check for that?
So, Cleo, you turn around and like look at this rune, and you kind of reach out both of your hands and summon the magic to identify, and the rune kind of begins to glow, and you understand that this throne actually is able to cast like a blizzard spell that will engulf the lodge and extend 1 mile in all directions. So it'll basically create a 1 mile radius of blizzard all around this lodge that'll last for 8 hours. This property, you know, will take 10 days to recharge. You can do this once every 10 days.
Okay. I turn to my group and I say, well, I think I know why they like to stay here so much. And I tell them about the spell and what I just learned about this throne.
Does it also talk?
The throne?
Yeah.
Yeah, the throne's like,
again,
hey
but again.
guys, it's me, the throne!
I don't think so.
You know. Well, I guess I didn't win.
Why are you rubbing your butts on me? Oh, Throny.
Wait, so you said it was a 10-mile radius?
No, it's a 1 mile radius.
1 mile,
It
okay.
recharges every 10 days.
10 days, gotcha. And how far would like that be from here? Like, would that be just Dugan's Hole? Or would that...
No, Dugan's Hole is about probably 8 miles away from here or so.
Okay.
Took you about a half day to get up here, so.
I don't know, like, the purpose of this throne being in this middle of nowhere area with that spell in it. Like, what the purpose of.
It's probably a recharge area. So if for some reason the giant got hurt or anything like that, he could use the spell on the throne to prevent anyone from getting in. And that way he could rest, you know, get a good night's rest and rejuvenate himself.
Wait,
Itself.
is the giant in the ice the master? Because I just put that, I just rethought about. I was like, wait, hold on, giant. Walked past that real quick.
Yeah,
That-
that's
okay.
kind of what I was thinking.
Let's
Yeah.
thaw him out.
And I was like waiting to kind of like just examine in there and see. Like,
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
are there any objects in there? Or...
Why don't you, let's see here. Hey, just give me an insight check here, Kindar. That's a good save for you, I think. Or a good skill check for you.
That would be a 6.
Yeah, you can see the giant in there, and it looks like he has a bunch of like cuts and wounds all over his body. And he, it's pretty clear to you, even with just a 6, that he was, you know, murdered here by sharp things.
So does it seem? Is there any way to tell if it was something recent?
Not with the
How
6.
recent it seems.
Well, there's this throne that creates blizzards. It had to have been something that was already in here with him. So it was either the wolves or something else. The wolves didn't even want to fight the mammoth, and I assumed a giant could kill a mammoth. So I don't know if the wolves would have had the guts to actually fight and kill this giant. So hopefully there isn't another large talking Arctic animal in here.
What if the wolves got someone else to kill the giant? Like how they got us to basically come here.
It's
To help.
possible. But they had to have been... I would think they would have to been already inside without the giant knowing. Or something that the giant trusted and thought it wouldn't kill him. Because if he has that blizzard and he was afraid of getting killed, he could just sit in here with the blizzard and bludgeon anything that comes through his door. So something happened inside here. Possibly while blizzard was already happening.
Does it seem like there's any blood, like on the ground? I mean, of course, where we were fighting the wolf, but anywhere else, like around where the body of the giant is, anything like that would make it seem like the body had been dragged from somewhere.
Why don't you give me a perception check, Gusto?
Try this again.
Why don't you give me a perception check there, Chris? There we go.
Nope. Nope, that's a 4. Man, there's a lot of snow.
There's a lot of snow and ice in here, yeah.
And Cleo, she saw me going for it. That's the only reason why she wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Kick some snow.
She's just a little competitive when it comes to things that she also might want.
Just a little.
I walk over to the ice and I'm like, oh my goodness, what's this? Oh, that looks like it could be something nice. I make sure to say it loud enough for Cleo to hear it.
Cleo puts 4 tons of ice into her bag. The body of the giant.
I immediately turn my head and like walk over to the ice to like look in it and be like, what?
Exactly. All right, so what's over here? And start walking to the area behind the throne.
Oh, yeah, keep going.
yeah.
Get up there.
Why does the ice sort of resemble Australia?
It does.
Crikey!
Crikey, you figured it out.
Calm down under.
Put 2 and 2 together? Wow, I can't believe you got that.
Oh, and by the way, I would say Edgar would probably stay with the unconscious guys at the front.
Yes, I should have probably said that, but she's like, I'll tend to my kinfolk. Y'all gonna explore this lodge. You have at it. I'll make sure that nothing comes and hurts my sister cousins anymore.
Keep a sharp eye and a good ear out.
It's good
The
thing she
shark
has
case.
3 years.
Keep her sharp teeth and her pointy ears out. Edgar's like, I could fuck you up, you know. I'm like a level 5 character, motherfucker. I have 58 fucking hit points and I got a multi-attack. You best mind your tongue.
Gotta reach me first.
Yeah, so here, Gusto, you just see kind of a long hallway, ends in, another sort of snowpack ice wall. But you do see that there's another chamber to the south.
Oh, I bet that's where he keeps all the treasure.
Or it's other pets.
I guess it didn't work. All right, I'll just keep it going. And I will kind of sneakily peek around the corner.
I feel like
That wasn't a very good stealth check.
There was a door, right? That had to open?
All right, peeking around the corner here, Gusto, and you see the edge of a bedroll. Looks like a bedroll. It's a giant cavernous chamber. At this point, though, the area that you're in right now, that you're standing in right now, is lit, fam. There's like a hole in the ceiling here where some natural light is coming through. So this, I would say, is like dim light, but it gets into the darkness the further back you get from here. So if you don't have dark vision, you're gonna start having some trouble seeing.
I'll pull out my mace and cast light on it.
Okay, get yourself a light source. That's what you see. The only furniture in this cavernous chamber is a big fur bedroll. The fur is matted, and you smell like a musty smell.
Oh, looks like it's just useless old scraps. Nothing nice in here.
Not that stupid. I walk up to the bed just to see what it even looks like.
You can see that there's like fleas and rats in the bedroll.
Back up. Working my way around behind her floor.
That's funny.
But you just see another chamber off to the back of the room there.
Anything underneath, or is it just like on the snow?
It's laying. The bedroll's laying on the snow, but if you want to check underneath, you certainly can.
Yeah. I want to like search through all of it.
Yeah.
Check to see.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check then, please, as you toss the. That is a very classic, like. So you kind of like lift up the bedroll, and first of all, Gusto, it stinks. Like it's really gross. It stinks. It's old. It's musty. It's like a little damp on the bottom as you like looking underneath. And you spend a few minutes kind of like, checking underneath to see if you can find anything. Kind of going through the bedroll, looking under the fur, pillow, and you don't really find anything. But I do need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Well, that's fun. That's an 8.
Oh, an 8. Okay. Okay. Noted.
Is it what I think it is? And should I go next to Cleo?
It's you don't know what
Some
it is.
kind of gross fungal disease. Get away from me.
Gusto died of dysentery.
I said nothing bad about Terry, okay? He's a good friend of mine.
God damn it.
Is there an anti-inspiration that you can give him for that one?
A disappointment.
Yeah, we're very disappointed in you. All right, so you guys are getting a little closer to this room now. Gusto, from your vantage point there, you can see into this room, and you see a bunch of barrels.
Barrels.
I didn't tell you that yet.
Oh.
You're supposed to wait till I
right.
say it.
You're right, I'm hiding.
Gusto's like,
yeah,
barrels.
It is barrels.
Okay. So in this room, you see a collection. There's 5 barrels in this room, and there's also like a massive, looks like a dug tunnel in the center of the floor here.
Oh, it's another shithole.
It's Dugan's Hole.
It's the hole.
I went to Dugan's
The
Hole. All I got was this crappy disease.
This is where you take a selfie.
I think
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where you like put your head through and it looks like you're like a frost giant, right? Like the head's cut out and you're like and then the other person puts their head through and you're like holding their like disembodied head. I like that. We'll have GH do that.
That's
too.
literally what my character in my other campaign's doing. There's this elf guy and we cut off his head and I have it in our bag of holding and I keep casting a spell on it so it doesn't decay over time.
I know somebody else who would do that.
Show you the rest. Of the
She's
story.
she's just a little druid fairy, okay? She's just weird. I want to search these barrels though.
All right, checking out the barrels, and I won't even make you roll for it. It's pretty cool. First of all, as soon as you get into this room, it smells horrible. Like the smell in this room is putrid and rancid and gross. Cleo, as you get closer, like you're holding your nose, moving up to these barrels, just because you're like the promise of riches outweighs your need to like not be disgusted by the smell of this room. And you get up to the barrel, unpop the cork, and or it's immediately clear to you that these barrels are filled with whale oil.
Whale oil.
5 barrels of whale oil in this room. Why don't you, Cleo?
Can I roll to see if it's worth anything?
Yeah, give me an insight check. Let's see if you know the potential worth of these barrels.
I mean, that's right up my alley.
Well, if she tells us this where oil was another thing.
Well, it would
I
be
can
this
see.
would be something that's pretty apparent to everybody
9.
in the room.
Oh, okay.
Is that something that I can make a check on, being a merchant? And
Sure, go ahead and do a check. Yeah, Cleo, you feel like it might have some value, but you're not really sure of the value.
Oh, I immediately just take a do I have like a jar? I have a jar. I just want a jar. I dip my jar in the gross.
I get a 16.
Yeah, Vlor, you know that a fully intact barrel like this, you know a few things about it. One, its weight is 500 pounds. So each one of these barrels weighs a quarter ton.
Ooh.
But you know for a fact that you could get at least 50 gold pieces per barrel. Probably most likely in Bryn Shander, maybe also in Targus, which is another of the large cities, the larger cities in 10 towns. And also, Vlor, you know that if you could somehow get these to Luskin or further south, that their value starts to increase exponentially the further you get it away from Icewind Dale.
Yes. Now, are all of the barrels full?
Yes, all the barrels are totally full. So you have basically 2,500 pounds of barrels.
Ooh. Gusto is definitely going to mark that down in the ledger, and I will let everyone know that the estimated value, and that if we can get these sent outside of the Dale, then we can probably make a good bit of money off of it.
Yeah, quite a bit.
The second I hear him say good bit of money, though, I definitely dip a jar into the barrel and just put it back.
Oh, but we need it to be all full, though. Otherwise, it's not worth as much.
I dip my jar in it anyway, and
Get yourself
You
a jar full of whale oil.
It's basically the same as what they have in Lantern.
George is kind of sitting there, like stroking his beard, like, why would this giant have this much whale oil, and what would he use for it? He wouldn't trade it. No one would trade with. No one around here would trade with a giant.
So where's he getting whales from? Are they just living whales out in this like icy?
Well, he's a giant. He could probably go north, and his spear is probably massive, the size of 2 harpoons. So
Oh, wasn't? I feel like I remember there being something weird out in the water or something that I saw once upon a time when we were out there, and I don't know. It's just really weird that there's something living, like that he could just get and kill out here. It doesn't seem there's a lot of living wildlife in like
Well,
ocean.
he probably went very far north, up where the ice isn't as thick, up north where regular people wouldn't even be able to survive. But since I assume this is a frost giant, he would probably go up north where only creatures of his size could actually survive, and
Well-
only a giant could kill a whale by itself.
Didn't the townspeople say that they saw figures on the lake?
That's
creatures on the
what
lake.
we're talking about.
So maybe it was here.
A whale in a lake.
Well, I
Uh,
mean,
And in this time, in this day and age, anything could happen. We've seen 2 talking wolves and a talking mammoth. Maybe it was a talking whale.
maybe this hole here is actually leads down to the water, and he was ice fishing.
Yeah, can we maybe look inside, like get next to the hole and see if there's anything that we can tell deep inside, or
Sure. This is very Kindar. If I've learned one thing about Kindar in their campaign so far, he's very intrigued by something that he doesn't Like he's always interested in stuff that is not immediately clear. Like he wants to know about this kind of thing. And so I'm happy you said it, Zune, because I don't want to play your characters for you, but I feel like Kindar is definitely like fucking checking out this hole. He cares more about this than he cares about the whale oil and their
Yes, definitely.
potential.
That was like the only thing that was in his head when we went in here was the hole.
Yeah.
He always got holes on his mind, you know.
So why don't you go ahead and give me a? I'm gonna probably have you do 2 checks here. Why don't you give me a perception check first, and we'll see what we can tell you, and then we'll go from there.
If it helps, I would cast light on a stone or something and give to him so he can toss down there. Give it a little bit of light in the hole.
This is Dugan's hole. That was funny.
The frost giant's name was Duke.
17 on a perception check. Okay, so this is a 5 foot 5-foot section. The tunnel's it's much more than that. It's 15 feet across. It looks like it was excavated, and with a 17. Kindar seems to be our resident, hey, I know what this thing is, type guy. Kindar, that this hole was created by a creature called a Remoraz. It's a creature that kind of burrows down in the ice or icy water. Let me give you a good description of it. Burrows deep in the snow and ice, lies in wait for like vibration. So it's like this kind of giant worm type creature that hunts by creating these burrows under the ice. As you're looking down and you're like, this hole's made by a Remoraz, you see about maybe 3 feet down. You see some kind of a residue. Looks like a frosted white residue. It's barely perceivable from the snow. That it's not snow, but with your 17 on your perception, you can tell that it's some kind of residue on the side of the hole.
Okay. Well, I think knowing what it is, first of all, Kindar would kind of like maybe take like a quick step back. It's like, well, what if that thing like pops out, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like tells everyone, guys, maybe let's take a step back here, because if this thing is actually down there and senses that we're here, it could come up and take us any moment.
Oh, lovely. Probably talks too.
Was the residue like on like any piece of like loose snow or something that Kindar could use his psychokinesis to pull?
So you're maybe like, are you talking? You want to like grab the snow behind it to try to
like kind of pull it up so we can get a closer look at whatever this residue is?
No, I don't think that, because you're talking about sort of a liquid on a. Almost like you feel like the snow would kind of disintegrate if you're trying to do that, and then you might lose the residue as well, which is also sort of liquidy.
You have a big stick. You can
stick your stick in the hole and get the white residue.
Seems like the thing to do.
I'm sorry. What's Sunflower? What's happening? Is everything okay?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
really
Great.
funny.
It's not of a joke. I heard.
Kindar has like a small, he's got a knife in his small knife.
Okay.
Can he use his psychokinesis to bring that knife over there and just kind of scrape a little off?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me. So the rest of what does the rest of the party see as Kindar does this?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I thought you were asking them, like, what they see. I'm, like, waiting for them to respond.
You're like, come on, dummies.
So Kinder would kind of, like, take his knife and kind of hold it in front of him and then let go, and it would kind of be floating there, and then he would kind of, like, his eyes kind of are blank, and but he's kind of focused on it and watches it as it kind of moves towards that spot. Scrapes as if someone's kind of holding it. And then...
And the residue covers the blade, and you get quite a lot of it. It's sort of like almost like a sap type consistency, so you do get like it covers the whole knife. You get quite a bit.
And then Kinder, kind of brings it back and not wanting to touch it, kind of maybe like sets it down, right, like on a barrel like that, down over here, so further away from the hole.
Okay. And then do you examine it?
Yeah. Without maybe touching it.
Are you proficient in like alchemy or alchemist's tools?
I don't think so.
Is anybody?
No.
I don't think so. I think might have brewers tools, but I don't think that's gonna help.
You're like,
It's
Jordy's
not
like,
just
we can
gonna
make a
strike
fine alcohol from this.
You make a mead better than good meads.
Don't tell me it's
tell-
ambergris.
Okay, you can make a Arcana check on this Kindar, but without proficiency in alchemist supplies, it's going to be a very difficult check.
Okay, does it help if Kinder is a sage and has researcher, so...
Researcher might allow you to, like, would probably just allow you to know that if you're unable to identify the substance, then you want to seek out somebody who's good with like chemicals or potions.
Gotcha. All right, so you said Arcana?
Yeah, I mean it's possible you get it. It's just going to be a really tough check without the alchemists.
Arcana's a good one for me.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Wow.
This is a secretion of the Remoraz called Thrym. And you know, Kindar, that alchemists use Thrym to craft potions of cold resistance and other useful concoctions. You also know that a bottle of Thrym, which is about basically what you have collected here, is worth about 250 gold pieces.
Don't you have that empty flask because you let Cleo drink that holy water?
No, she just took a sip out of that, I thought.
Don't I just
so
have
that should still have that water in it.
Oh yeah.
I know I have a couple of vials. One that had, I think, holy water. I can dump that out.
Who's that?
I'm a cleric,
He's a
but I'm
merchant first.
also a merchant. I'm a merchant first. I learned how to be a cleric. I was born a merchant. So yeah, I'll dump out the holy water from the flask, or from the vial.
Did I get all of the secretion in that one go? Or is there still more?
You were able to get it. Basically, like just look behind the DM screen. I'm so self-conscious to say peek behind the curtain because Gamer Heron was picking on me about it the other day. A peek behind the curtain, Kindar, is the nature in which you collected it was careful enough that you got the full sample.
Does
Gotcha.
Kindar tell us about this?
I don't know,
skill,
does
or
he?
are we just like?
Yeah, Kindar would explain what it's used for, and that it's typically pretty valuable.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that little tiny sample is as valuable as this, like, ton of whale oil. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
Does
with this,
Cleo-
we could probably get someone. We could probably hire someone to come take these barrels for us.
Does Cleo see any more of the goo around the hole?
So,
I hated saying that.
that's probably a sentence you didn't think you were going to say when you woke up this morning.
No.
You can give me a perception check, Cleo, to see
Not
if you
this
see
morning.
any.
Perception?
That you really got Floor there.
The not this morning.
Sorry, it's being funky.
Yo, Meteor Matt, talk about goo around the hole. Meteor Matt, thank you so much for the 33 months, dude.
Oh no. 8.
No, honestly, you have even trouble seeing how Kindar even saw that other stuff because it's almost imperceivable from snow. So you take a quick peek down there, Cleo, but you don't see anything. Meteor Matt, thank you so much, dude. Go ahead and roll the D4. Oh no, well, before you go to Lurk, if you would want to roll your D4 and give it to one of our players, you're more than welcome to do that. Thank you, dude.
Kindar, are you holding on to that or?
Yeah, Kindar can hold on to that.
Okay.
So we put it in your one of your
Like a
jars.
vial, yeah.
A vial. It's actually it marked in there. It's a flask. So
Okay,
it would have been enough to
flask.
carry.
All right, so make sure to add that to your inventory, Kindar.
Flask of Ramaraz secretion.
Yes, if you want to, the
Oh,
spelling
right.
of it, it's Thrym. Thrym. Thrym.
Maybe Miss Greysteel may know someone that wants this.
Interesting.
Or maybe
Wow,
she
that's
could use
a
it
pretty good
herself.
idea. That's pretty
It's worth
smart.
a lot, but maybe having potion from it itself may be just as valuable.
Oh man, that's probably almost as good as those boots.
Yeah, those look like some comfy boots.
Kindar decides with that maybe it's time to put on the boots.
Yes.
That kind of triggers the trauma of
Oh fuck the
cold
boots.
blast that he got and was like, you know what? The respect that I was trying to pay the dead is not worth the cold that I was suffering. So
Yeah, I mean you were literally knocked unconscious.
yeah.
Just a reminder for anybody who's watching, these boots are the boots of the Winterlands, which look like that. Pretty snazzy boots. And they have resistance to cold damage. So what this means, Kindar, is that you any damage that's specifically cold damage, you take half, which is pretty fucking baller. You also ignore difficult terrain that's created by ice or snow. So sometimes walking on slippery ice is difficult terrain, or really deep snow would be difficult terrain. You ignore that with these boots, and you have better temperature toleration. You can go down to 50 degrees without any additional protection, or if you wear the heavy clothes like you're wearing, you can go down to 100 degrees below zero.
Cool.
Cool boots.
Things are gonna be cool.
Alrighty. So we got some Ramaraz cum. We got some whale oil in here.
That guy was definitely doing something with that hole. He's got the oil and everything.
Right up in his bedroom too,
Yeah.
Is that why it smells like that?
There's a lot of lube in here.
Like a big old cube of it.
Oh.
All right, what would you guys like to do?
Jordy, I don't think Jordy wants to be in this room anymore.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention also again that this room stinks. It's the whale oil is not a pleasant smelling substance.
There's still one more doorway we haven't gone down. Hopefully there's not another speaking animal.
Jordy is not a big fan of those, is he?
No, one gave him a PTSD flashback.
Yeah, no shit. As you
Actually,
get up
now
to
that I
the throne,
talk
the
about
throne's like, "Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome back." Oh,
I imagine
throny.
Jordy would start smashing it.
I mean, the throne does have its own AC and hit points.
Oh, gee.
Does Kindar know like how common like Ramarazzi?
Razzmatazz.
I'm sorry.
What's the plural of Ramaraz? Ramarazzi?
I think it's just like Remoraz. Like many Remoraz are just also called Remoraz.
Yeah. Does he like how common are they? Like,
Why don't you can give me a nature check and we can see if you can figure it out, or if you know. It's just I imagine like Kindar's mind works that way, where he's just thinking about this creature and he's like, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Neat. 23. That's a natty 20.
Oh baby, 23
Nice.
natural 20. Exceedingly rare.
Seating.
Very very rare. Like you could probably, even though they live here, you could go your entire life without ever seeing a Remoraz.
Like people who live here wouldn't see one.
Yeah, like longtime residents of Icewind Dale, it's very unlikely that even they have ever seen a Remoraz. Floof, thank you so much for the raid, dude. I was in the middle of an explanation there, so I didn't want to... I waited to thank you. Thank you, Floofer. Hope you're having a good day, dude.
Like, dwarves live a while, and dwarves have been living here, and, like, Jordy doesn't know what the hell they are. So he's probably never seen one, and he's old. I guess he's not super old, but for, like, he's been around here for a while. And the people he's been around have been around here for a while, and he has no clue what they are.
Yeah, Kindar would just then kind of like to say, like, God, thinking like how crazy is it that we saw one of these holes? You go your whole life without ever seeing these things.
You go your whole life out seeing a talking mammoth as well.
With a natural 20, I'm even going to give you another little thing here, and I'll give it to everybody because you did so well. This is what a Remoraz looks like.
Oh no! It looks like like what in my head a silverfish looks like when I see it like crawling up my wall.
It's like
I
a
had one come out of my bed
dragonfly.
before.
This is exactly what they look like, Jackson, if you look real close.
Before they jump into your pupil.
Yeah, that's what a Remoraz looks like.
That's horrifying.
It really is. Yeah, cannonball!
Oh man, we've seen a lot of things that aren't very common.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's true. There's some weird stuff here, huh? Alright, you see a hallway up to the north here as you round the corner, Jordy. And it splits into two directions.
Which way do we want to go?
To the left, to the left.
Maybe walk up and see what we can see inside the rooms.
Yeah, that's actually a lot better idea. You literally just like stand here.
Alright, I'm just gonna read it all around.
Remoraz on each side.
Oh man.
Alright, to the left you see, with the benefit of Gusto's lit AF mace, you see a giant table. Let me read the flavor text for this. Sorry, I was doing something else. This oval chamber with high walls. No, where is this? Where are we? What game is this? A massive table hewn from a single block of ice stands in the middle of this cold chamber, surrounded by chairs also made of ice. Many of the chairs are chipped and cracked. To the right, you see... to the right, you see a sour stench of decay fills your nostrils to the right. Lying in the ice-packed ground is the frozen corpse of a whale. Even from here, you can tell that it's crudely butchered. Beside its blade in the shape of a... Well, yeah, so like you can kind of see sticking out of the top of this whale is a knife, like a paring knife. But it's the size of a long sword.
Was this
Well-
a talking whale?
The whale looks over.
I
He's
don't-
like, hello.
I was just about to say, well, I don't think this one's talking anytime soon.
He was best friends with the turtle.
It's kind of close to a dolphin.
Can we see if it looks like any of the fat had been harvested from it?
Yeah, as you get closer here, Gusto, this is clearly the area of the lodge that the frost giant used to harvest whale oil. This is where he would butcher the whales and harvest their oil.
Can we tell what direction it was maybe like dragged in from?
Yeah, it looks like it was dragged in from here.
Does it seem like it's been dead for like a really long time, or does it seem like a little fresh at all?
It's definitely rotting. It's hard for you to tell exactly how long it's been there. It's a little bit like warmer of a day, which is the reason that probably it stinks so bad today. But also it could have frozen over and thawed out like many times over. It's not exactly easy for you to tell.
Well, that's it.
Maybe we should have a closer look in this room,
Their
Just in
his
case.
meeting room.
just in case there's anything else in here. Something else that these wolves would want.
Sure, I'm throwing dinner parties here.
So, Cleo, as you get right there, you on the center of the table, you see it's kind of about right there, like a little tiny stone statuette. And as you're kind of checking it out, well, first of all, why don't you give me a perception check? Because while Cleo is looking at this object, Clyde loses his mind. Like, Clyde is distressed and starts freaking out, and he jumps off of your shoulder and runs over to the table, climbs up the table. This is all like one swift movement, and runs over to the statue where the statue is. Cleo, with a 10, you realize that this little stone statue is actually a statue of a Chwinga. And
Okay,
Clyde is excitedly jumping around it.
I pick up Clyde and I pick up the statue.
And you can the statue looks eerily realistic. And as soon as you pick it up, Cleo, you realize that this is basically a dead Chwinga that turned into a stone statue upon its death. You just know from Clyde's reaction and from how intricate it is. Jordy, as you round the corner here, I'm sorry, take away your character. Oh, and I also made him super wide and weird. As you round the corner here, space and time dilates. You see hiding behind these chairs these 3 little creatures. Let me do this.
George's just like, please don't talk. Please tell me you don't talk.
Does he actually say that?
Yeah, he's kind of mumbling to himself, please don't have these ones talk.
So this creature looks at you and goes, "Oh, well, this is gonna be a little awkward then.
Right.
Tell me, is the mammoth gone?
Well,
Why do you want to know?
it's out front, technically.
Okay. Listen, let me introduce myself. My name is Snorp. These are my comrades, Holgi.
Holgi nods.
And Zilbo, come out.
Hang on, I got There, I've got them in the wrong order. And so Zilbo comes out. Jordy, why don't you give me a... Why don't you give me a... I don't know. A nature check would be fine.
Okay. You sure he has nothing to that?
It's going to be easy for you anyway. Oh, not the 4 though. Yeah, you...
Like, scratches it. Kindar, do you know what these things are?
It's okay. It's okay. We're kobolds. We knew that the giant had been killed. We saw the adventurers come in here and kill him. So we decided to come in here and see what we could get. And of course, if you guys saw the mammoth, you realize that we wouldn't really stand a chance against the mammoth, and we've been kind of pinned in here for several days. The Chwinga, that's unfortunate. He kind of snuck up on us. I regret having killed him, but listen, all we want is to leave this lodge peacefully. If you'd allow us to do that, we'd be very, very grateful.
I
Adventurers,
take
you
pride
say?
in the statue and I back up farther.
Adventurers killed this giant. They came all the way out here.
Not unlike yourself, a group came out and made short work of the giant, actually. We watched from afar. We were able to sneak in here when those wolves, yibbies, the wolves too, were able to sneak in here. The whole place was cleared out. We're pretty sure the adventurers took everything of any kind of value.
Did you get a good look at these adventurers? They must be quite mighty if they're able to take down the giant.
They must have been, but we weren't. We didn't actually go. We didn't go up to them and ask them their names or anything. We saw that they came in here. They left with a giant bag of treasure, and we were hoping to get the scraps.
Didn't see them at all. Race, anything? Were they short? Kind of like me, short and stout.
I believe one of them was. At least one of them was. We're not so stupid we don't know what a dwarf is.
Well, there's other things that are my height. As you can see, we're not too far off.
Okay, smart guy. Didn't know what a kobold was.
I...
Yes, go on. Go on. I saw you raising that axe or whatever it is you carry. Go on.
Yeah, like narrows his brows.
Okay, listen. We can all be friends here. You could just allow us to go on our way.
Where are you? Where are you trying to head off to?
We're off to our little kobold town.
Kobold Town. Is
Yeah,
that the
it's
11th
Kobold
town?
City. It's the capital.
Something
Well,
smells.
pardon us, but we're a little wary after dealing with those 2 wolves and a talking mammoth.
How do you think we've been stuck in here for days? We couldn't leave. All the mammoth did all day was cry over that ice block that was formerly the giant.
Do you know anything about it being frozen, or was it already frozen when it got here?
When we made our way into the cave, it had started to freeze over for sure, but I don't know why he's a frozen chunk. I don't know.
Maybe
Just
it's
out
the
of-
same reason this Chewinga is just like a frozen statue.
Listen, you would have done the same thing if this thing jumped out of nowhere.
Hey, this thing jumped out of nowhere, and now look at it. We're great. Also, why was one little Chewinga just follow you into this cave?
He snuck up on us. He was this dangerous monsters.
So dangerous. I pet Clyde and I just stay back. I'm ready to slash out some evil words that do little damage.
Make them feel real bad about themselves.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
out of
real mama
curiosity, what kind of things did you pick up in here?
Nothing. This has been the worst trip ever. This place has been completely ransacked.
I find it quite hard to believe that wolves wouldn't have noticed you in here.
You want to
They're
do
pretty
a? Do you want like an insight check on this, Gusto? See if they're telling the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
These are what these
Wolves
little dudes
are like dogs. They have pretty good smell. That's a 20, not natural.
You from what you know about kobolds, the story kind of checks out as far as they probably came in here to see what they could scrounge up, and you don't get the sense that they're being any more dishonest than a kobold would be.
They're kobolds. Kill them. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Hold on
I
a
didn't say
second.
that.
I'm going to ask Edgar about these adventurers, because I feel like if anyone would know, she would. And kind of like goes back. I thought about calling her over, but I feel like logically she wouldn't leave the two unconscious people. So I'll try to go back and like, Edgar.
Y'all
we
find
have
anything
these-
good in here?
There's these kobold things. They said that adventurers came in here and killed this giant. Did you know anything about a group of adventurers coming through?
She's like pretty taken aback. She's like, well, no, nobody came through. I mean, if there's adventures up here, none of them came through Dugan's Hole. You're the first group that's basically made it into Dugan's Hole in, I don't know, month and a half. I mean, we've been under siege for quite some time.
Jordy scratches his head. That doesn't make sense that they would just come straight here. Almost as if they already knew the giant was here.
Yeah, it's possible that somebody knew the giant was here. I mean, there's giants around here, especially on the spine of the world. I mean, we're one of the furthest south of the 10 towns. And, there's frost giants that do live in the spine of the world. So, I mean, it's definitely possible that somebody knew there's giants down here. This giant in particular, I didn't know of. But we don't exactly go out looking for these monsters either.
That's what's strange. Who would just go out looking for a giant to kill? There had to be some other motive that they would just come all the way out here for this specific giant and didn't take any of the oil back there.
Did y'all find any other treasures in here?
So far, no. We found a poor petrified Churinga.
Well, if another group of adventurers came in here, you can bet that they left with their good deal of treasure. That might have been motivation enough. I mean, if this giant here is sitting on a throne, he's got to be some muckety-muck important guy, right?
Yes, that's true. It's just worrying that they were able to come in here and kill him, and no one knows who they are. So they must be formidable people. Hopefully they're
mighty strong
good
to
people.
mighty strong to kill the giant and do what they done to him.
Alright, I'm going to go relay this back to the others that are holding the kobolds.
Y'all come back now here.
Jordy relays back to him that the Edgar didn't know that there was adventurers here.
Book very really thought that was funny.
Yeah, like it's not uncommon that there's giants, but it is strange that the adventurers came through and went straight here, apparently. And I would assume they would have to go through good. Now that I think about it, they would probably have to go through Goodmeat too, unless they just trekked out through the wilderness.
Yeah, it wouldn't have had to, but if a venturing party made it here without going through the 10 towns, they're pretty formidable, and they went through a lot of they would have had some experience out in the cold tundra wilderness, because it's not easy. Like, just to put in perspective, if your party tried to go from here right to Bryn Shander without taking a road, you guys have already been lost. Remember the
almost died.
half session
Like
where we
5
spent lost
times.
in a blizzard where the whole party almost wiped? I mean, that's the kind of stuff you'd be facing down.
They
These
have to
people
be.
probably just killed the giant.
They had to have been natives then, perhaps. That is strange. Maybe they were barbarians.
You know,
Nomadic barbarians.
we could check with Olivessa when we get back
Yes.
and
Do
see
we
if
bring our
she.
friends with us?
I don't have any use for them.
What if they're actually evil and want to go? What if they have something to do with all? I don't know. I don't trust them.
I don't know if they're bright enough.
You don't think?
No, I think they're more so just scavengers. I believe that they're scavengers. They might have some other intent, but I don't think they're any threat like this band of warriors or this giant or these wolves. But there's... Jordy's a little... Jordy does not trust the kobolds, but he doesn't think they could do much. But after seeing all of the, like, talking animals and such, like, everything's, like, up in the air. Like, anything could be a threat at this point.
Yeah, kind of. I definitely see that. Like, you don't know what to trust or whatever. I will say that Gusto had a pretty good insight check on these guys, and he doesn't read them as a threat.
Yeah. Plus, I think Jordy could take them all out with one swing, but
Yeah.
no, I don't think they're worth our time. I don't think they'll cause us any issues. We probably do want to go and check on the town as soon as possible, just in case the female wolf ran ahead or decided that they'd attack, seeing as how most of their warriors are out here.
This is a good point. I hadn't even thought of that. We should head back. Make sure the wounded are able to travel.
Yeah, at this point, too, you guys have been kind of wandering around the cave for about an hour or so. All the really injured townspeople are at least back to consciousness. Edgar's been, tending to them.
Well, so, are you guys gonna just let us head on up the road? Or...
Depends what you got in your pocket.
Uh,
I got this dead rat. I mean, we've been kind of sharing it for the last couple of days, but you can have the last bite.
No, there's whale in the other room. If you want. All right.
Looks like meat's back
Fine
on the
with age.
menu, boys.
I was waiting for it. Nah, I'm good. I'll start heading out.
If
Yeah.
you guys are ever in Cobalt City, just tell them Snorp sent you.
I'll write that down.
They burrow through the walls.
Cobalt City mentioned Snorp.
I asked War if he took notes on our other campaign. He's like, no, not really. He's like, this one I took a lot of notes in, though.
11th. Find 11th down.
Gusto, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay.
That's a 19.
Okay, you're fine.
for now.
Yeah. All right. Heading back to Dugan's Hole then?
Yep. I think so.
All right.
Yes.
It takes about half a day to get to Dugan's Hole from here. Vlora, I need you to make 4 Constitution saving throws.
Can I be standing next to or walking next to Cleo?
You got your arm around her.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, get away from me. I have a dead Chewinga I have to now bury because I feel bad.
That's a 22.
Okay, that's a pass.
That's a 13.
It's a pass.
That's a 7.
It's a fail. You take 1 point of damage from the fleas that now infest you.
And one more.
And 1 more.
21.
That's a pass. So the whole way back, Gusto's like scratching, slapping his arms and stuff.
I have fur and a ton of hair, so I'm staying as far away from you as possible. Like,
That's
no,
why.
Thank you.
That's why I try to get close to Cleo.
Okay, back to Dugan's Hole. Edgra takes the wounded to the longhouse here on the dock, and starts to, has some of her brother cousins tending to the wounds of the wounded. She has to, inform the man who was taken, his family, which is also her family, that is gone.
The next of kin, which gets a little complicated.
Very complicated.
Hard to figure out.
Wills,
Someone soon to come in.
wills and estates are impossibly difficult in Dugan's Hole. No sign of the wolf. I know you said that was a concern for the party. No sign of the wolf here, but yeah. So you make it back here to the hole.
Can I take a dip in the icy water?
Oh my.
See if that takes care of the fleas.
Sure. Let me just pull up the rules for submerge in ice cold water.
Like instant death to your fleas.
I won't put those boots on. Borrow those boots.
Yeah, I think
know if they
Kindar
have
is
one
pretty
wet.
relative to him now. I'll mention that I've got fleas now to Edgura, Edgura, and see if she knows how to get rid of them.
She's like, "Oh, gross! Y'all got fleas? That's fucking nasty."
Oh, that's what's nasty! Wow, that's rich.
She's like tonguing her cousin. That's fucking nasty. No, she has no idea. There's no idea. Nobody in Dugan's Hole has ever caught fleas. That's gross. You're dirty.
Wow, that's almost impossible to believe. Next to impossible.
So let's read the rules for being submerged in frozen water, frigid water. A creature can be immersed in frigid water for a number of minutes equal to its constitution score before suffering any ill effects.
Yeah.
Each additional minute spent in frigid water requires the creature to succeed on a constitution saving throw or gain 1 level of exhaustion. Creatures with resistance or immunity to cold damage automatically succeed on the saving throw, as do creatures that are unnaturally adept to living in cold water. So that's actually not as bad. Actually, it's much worse to get your clothes wet than it is to just get in your skivvies and jump in the ice water.
Yeah, I will just strip down. I mean, I can hold my breath indefinitely, so that's not an issue. And I've got a con score of 3,
Nice.
so I can stay in the water for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, and so you stay the maximum amount of minutes,
Yeah.
and then
Does
hop
each
back out.
flea have to do a constitution saving throw?
Yeah, hang on. Let me make some.
Every round.
Okay, Gusto. Yeah, so you hop out of the water. Your balls are non-existent.
Yeah.
I might want to wash the clothes too.
I
Oh, Jordy has a spare thing of winter clothes if you want to borrow them.
want to
know
make
if that
sure
helps.
that I don't have any fleas first.
Why don't you do a perception check on yourself? Check yourself up.
Can somebody help me with that?
Sure, yeah. Who do you ask?
Anybody really? I'm not shy. Somebody want to help me look for fleas? Make sure I don't have any? Probably not Cleo.
Kinder's
because-
like, spread them cheeks.
Puts on a glove.
Pulls out the flask of Thrim.
Bend over. No.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Buddy, you
For
still got
20?
fleas.
Oh.
Some,
Oh, fuck.
some Icewind Dale fleas right there.
It's
Damn.
true.
And I don't even know how to get rid of fleas.
Would Kindar know like anybody around here or something that would be able to help with this?
Yes, would you know about fleas?
Like know somebody like in the medical field or something that would possibly know of this.
Yeah, like maybe a medicine check?
Yeah, that'd be a medicine check.
I feel like Jordy probably would know. So
I have a +1 in medicine.
Eight.
No, you don't know.
I've got a +3 in medicine.
Nice.
I could have helped with that. Yeah, no.
Just keep making the check. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
No, I gotta get rid of these fleas. I can't deal with this. I'll set myself on fire first.
Oh no! Oh no!
So just set yourself on fire, jump back into the frozen lake.
Yeah.
That would probably go flawlessly.
I'm gonna look through my spells list and see if I have anything.
I think it's the spell of raid.
I can just use my mage hand to start picking fleas off of you.
Wow. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Guess you got fleas.
Yeah, I got fleas.
Alrighty, it is probably a good time for a long rest. It is, sort of nighttime here. Anybody want to hazard a guess for how long you guys have been adventuring together now?
+7 days.
Total?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 26 days.
Yes, I just did that guess. I'm gonna say 32 days.
Jordy, any guesses?
Probably like 20, 22 days, something like that.
All overestimated. This is week number 2. This is the end of week 2. You've been together as a party for 14 days. 14 days since Gusto and Cleo stepped off of the caravan into Bryn Shander. We've done quite a lot in those 14 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
so
blizzard trek probably felt like 5 days.
Yeah, that took a few days off of your life. Yeah, so we've done a lot. I mean, you guys have. This is, and just to, not to put too fine of a point on it here in Dugan's Hole, but I mean, you guys are now basically the heroes of, 2 towns, right? Dugan's Hole and Goodmead both owe you a great debt of gratitude. You these are kind of like lovable hicks. Like you like these guys and they like you. I feel like, you fought side by side with people from this town, and they, unlike some other townspeople in this adventure that you've met, they were willing to put their lives on the line to defend their town, which is not something you found, in every one of these 10 towns. So I would, I'm not trying to speak for your characters, but I would imagine that there's some mutual respect both ways here. And especially for Gusto, they don't have any kind of merchant. They don't have a trading system set up here. So,
Well, they do now.
yeah, like you can, they're like, y'all can be our trade representative. And, they're actually hopeful that they're going to be able to start trading with the rest of 10 towns now, because they've been under this siege. And so, you've finally, or you've sort of won over another town, another one of these 10 towns. And truthfully, you've been here for 2 weeks, and this is Bryn Shander, right? You scooted through Caer Dineval. Caer Koenig is where you almost were run out of town on a rail. But you were in good with the speaker at Caer Koenig. That's the Silver Dragonborn
Yep,
up there.
The drunk.
The drunken town speaker. So you're in good with him. You have some friends in Bryn Shander. You know, a few people there, a few people that could, you know, in a pinch. Certainly the town of Goodmead, you spent a lot of time there. I mean, they want Jordy to be the fucking mayor, so, you know, you have some friends there, and now you have some friends here in Dugan's Hole, so you guys are getting more and more widely known here in 10 Towns.
And there's that old lady in the woods.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
old
the Twinkle lady.
It's like she was really pleasant and fun to spend time with.
Didn't she have like a wood soup or something going?
Yeah, she was eating
for
some
her?
tree soup. She offered you some tree soup, but nobody wanted any.
Yeah.
Rude. You guys are so rude. Didn't want any tree soup. I think Cleo's looking for stuff to steal. You're like, I'm gonna steal her broom. It's like the only thing she owns.
That's all she has left.
She owed like a broom and like a plate, you know?
I want to steal the spoon that she used to stir her tree soup.
Oh, jeez.
Where'd my spoon go?
Vors were like, I want to set up a restaurant here for her. And
Right. Welcome to Old Ladies. Booth or a table.
That was a joke. We don't have either.
Schwingus took it.
Splinters or no splinters in your soup?
Oh man. So were you mentioning all of that to say that we got a level?
I was mentioning all of that to say that you got a level.
Yes.
Congratulations, everybody.
Oh, wow.
You're now
Oh my god. Ooh,
level
okay.
3.
Oh,
Level
wow. I was
3.
kidding on that.
Congratulations. We're not gonna, obviously, you're not gonna level up here in the middle of this.
Yeah.
But I'll allow you to do anything you'd like here. We're not gonna end the session just yet because I feel like there's not a natural stopping point yet. But if there's anything you'd like to do here in Dugan's Hole, you're certainly welcome to. There's still a couple loose threads here. Otherwise, I'll leave it up to you guys what you'd like to do. Go ahead and act as if you got the long rest, though, because you certainly would have gotten the benefit of a long rest here.
Kinder's going to take an opportunity during that long rest to shower.
He bathes himself, bathes his dirty feet.
It focuses specifically on the feet, yep.
I think Jordy would want to talk to Edgar about about the Dugan's Hole and Goodmead since it got bad blood. I feel like he would want them to try to get them to cooperate a little bit more in these trying times.
I'd also like to try and be part of that, and try and help Jordy, maybe with like some kind of cooperative merchant shops or something
that-
like that.
It would
Trade.
be because they don't have anything here. Goodmead at least has meat. They have like nothing. So like maybe just provide like labor or something. Just anything really. There's people here that can fight. Apparently they don't really have many people that can fight at Goodmead.
Yeah.
Well, they only have like 3 left. Possibly 4.
There's generations of bad blood between Dugan's Hole and Goodmead. That lake you see out there, that ain't called Redwaters for nothing. But I see the benefit in what you're saying. Especially because Goodmead, they don't send too many boats out there. Well, ain't nobody sending too many boats out there now. You can see the folks out there ass fishing, trying to get the trout whatever way we can. But now that Goodmead ain't in the fishing business, that's not too bad of a deal. They got a little soft up there. You know what I'm saying? They got a little soft up there. You can hold that weapon real well. I know you know what it's like to fight. You seen any fighters like my folks up there in Goodmead? I don't think so.
Nope. If
You know-
there were any, they were killed by 4 beaks.
You know, our buddy Jordy here is probably going to be the next speaker up there.
Oh, I didn't agree to anything.
Yeah.
We don't mind.
Probably gonna
Listen, if you can talk to, who is their town speaker up there?
Jordy.
Or the
This guy right here, he's basically the town speaker now.
well, currently their town speaker was killed. They're soon going to have a vote for the next town speaker. I believe it should be Oliveira, the one that runs the good mead.
Listen, if
She's the
you
one.
get their speaker on your side, I'm willing to talk. You're right. These are dark times, and we can't spend our time fighting. We can't
No.
spend our time fighting. We should really spend our time working together to get through this.
Yes, they were in a similar situation, except they had 2 half giants and a bear and an ogre. There's definitely hard times if in the future there might not be a gang of just random warriors that could come through, because we can't be everywhere at once.
She kind of like puts her hand on her sword. She's like, "Well, we sure, you and I fought side by side, defending this town, and like I said, you get their new speaker on board, whoever that might be, and I'm willing to sit down at the table."
Alright, sounds good.
And if it wouldn't be too much trouble, maybe we can get those barrels of oil down here. We could use that money to help get some supplies to start up a little shop. Maybe bring some discounted weapons and armors down here, just in case there's any other troubles that pop up. We know there's still that wolf out there.
You act as our, you gonna act as our trade representative here in Dugan's Hole? I mean, I can get some folks up there. We can get that oil down here, but you know, we ain't merchants like yourself.
Oh, trust me, I've got it in with a merchant in Bryn Shander already. We're already getting at least 10% off of everything. Maybe we can work something out to get a little bit more discounts down here for you guys.
We get that oil, Vlora. What do we do with it? What do you want us to do with it?
You send it up to Goodmead with someone specifically saying that it's for me, and we've got a storage area. They'll put it in the storage, and I'll get it sent out to where it needs to go in order to get the best money out of it. I think it's best though to keep a barrel of it here, so that if anybody needs heat for their lanterns or anything like that, this oil, yeah, it's worth a good bit, but it'd probably do good to help people out here too.
We'll have that. We'll get that up to you. We'll have that up to Goodmead in we can get it up to in about a 10-day. That's mighty big of you to let us keep that other barrel as well. We'll put it to good use.
Yeah, definitely want to keep an eye out for that other wolf. I'm sure she might be causing some trouble not too long. That's why we want to get these weapons and stuff down here for you guys.
Well, my kinfolk, they can hold a weapon.
Sounds good.
Cool. Cleo, any loose threads you want to tie up here in Dugan's Hole?
I feel like all that Cleo would have wanted to do is like either try to figure out if she should bury that Chewinga, the dead one that she has with her, because she just has a live one with her and then a dead one with her, and she wasn't gonna leave it in a cave because of how Clyde reacted.
Yeah, Clyde is
she's
like
probably-
super sort of. You can tell he's like really upset.
I probably just went off with him somewhere, like on the outskirts, somewhere I can like bury the Chewinga.
And bury him.
Mhm.
Alive.
I don't know. No, not alive. Is he dead? He's dead.
I thought you were talking about
Right?
Clyde.
No. No. A dead
The
Chewinga.
old Yeller situation.
No, never. Never.
So yeah, you take you take the stone Chewinga statue, and you take him kind of on the outskirts of town and bury him,
Hmm.
and just kind of
Yeah, with Clyde.
just
Somewhere like out here, maybe.
you say a few words or
I just, I'm like, little Chewinga, I didn't know you, but clearly my friend here did, and I'm sorry that those evil, what were they called? Condors. Kobolds.
you know,
Condors.
kind of.
had to murder you like that. And I hope you just like peace and rest. And I hope that I just hope that I'm doing that so that Clyde hopefully feels better, calm. Because it was probably, I don't know if he knew him or anything, so I can't speak to him.
He's like, Mark. Yeah, so you bury him, and Clyde kind of stands next to you as you do it, and he walks over to the sort of burial mound and puts his two little hands down on it. And you see just sort of a quick flash of some sort of magics. And I can imagine Cleo like getting up and walking away with Clyde. And Clyde ambles up onto her shoulder as she's walking back into Goodmead. And as Cleo turns around, you see just like a sprout, like a new sprout sprouting from the ground back there, like a little plant growing.
That's cute. So it didn't just like come back to life. I thought you were gonna say like a little arm pokes out of the ground.
Arms pops out of the ground, strangles Clyde, starts to pull him down into the grave. No, you see like the sprouting of like a little fresh sprout coming out of the snow where the mound, the burial mound was.
Oh man,
I feel like that's a fitting ending. Kindar, anything you'd like to wrap up here in Dugan's Hole?
So there was one thing that maybe like while he was doing his rest,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's okay to
Sure, yeah.
Well, like he kind of like was thinking back to when they went to that I forgot what that building was, but there was like the 20 stones in it.
Oh yeah, the 20 stones of Thrun. It's not a building, it's like a
Oh yeah, it's like that outdoor shrine.
It's like Stonehenge type thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so maybe like while he's resting, he takes out his stone and looks at it, and just to try to see if there like is it because you had mentioned that it had like kind of was glowing more.
Do you go out there, or are you
just while he's resting, just like maybe it's just something about Dugan's Hole, so he just kind of takes it out and he's kind of looking at it maybe, and is there anything about it? Is it glowing more than normal, or is it just kind of like it's normal thing right now?
And we're gonna we're gonna let the party in a little bit on what this object is. Now, this isn't information that your characters are gonna have, but it's information that the players and anybody who's watching this campaign is gonna have. So why don't you just tell us what this object actually is, Zund?
All right. So when Kindar was basically too young to remember, like very young, like he was basically found by a group with like a stone, and the stone that he's had with him his whole life, and it randomly will glow blue or like have this blue glow to it, but he's never known why. And anytime he's been separated from it, he's kind of had like a weird anxiety, and like kind of, it makes him uneasy, makes him a little bit more irrational than normal. So that's essentially what it is. And it also has an owl carving on it.
So I'll say this, as you take it out and you're just sort of, I can see you like kind of laying in bed and you're kind of just juggling it in your hand a little bit, moving it around in your hand. And you're thinking about how you've never seen it glow with such intensity as when you were out by the stones. And since that happened, it's been in the back of your mind, and you feel like a pull to the 20 stones. You feel like you are drawn there. The stone itself that you have, the carving, it's not glowing now, but just in your hand, I can see him just like, you're almost like getting agitated, like you're laying in bed and you're like, I'm just...
Something here.
There's something there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
So then I guess with that, Kindar would go to the stone.
So yeah, you head out from your bed. You're like, finally, I can see him in bed, and he's finally just like had enough. Like, all right, I have to go see this. I have to go see what is happening, what this is. And you don't even put the stone back in your pocket. You just kind of throw your cloak over and you head out. Trouncing
Put on my
through the
boots.
snow. Put on your cool boots. Your cool new boots. Ignoring difficult terrain the whole way there. Would have taken you 10 minutes to walk out there. It only took you 5. It's nighttime. It's a particularly dark night. There's no like, remember when we had the Jordy's little flashback, how the night was so clear that it was like the sky was made of glass or something, of the night sky. It's super dark. There's not even a moon tonight. As you approach the 20 Stones of Thrun, the magic here is almost like breathtaking, and you can just feel the magic of this place. So you pass the outer layer of the 20 stones, Kindar, and you start to make your way towards that stone in the center. And the stone in your hand is almost like, you can't quite tell if it's your own mind playing tricks on you. Is it pulling you towards that center stone, or is it just your mind playing tricks on you? And it's glowing with that blue intensity. And as you get close to the center stone, the wind starts to pick up. You know, it's dark, it's cold. The wind is blowing that top layer of snow off, and I can just see it in my mind's eye. The snow blowing past Kindar's tail is out, like whipping in the wind behind him as he looks down at the stone. And you start to hear like a whisper. It's really hard to make out. It gets louder and louder, and you're not sure if it's on the wind or if it's somebody right behind you. You can't quite tell. And the whisper it's just barely imperceivable, but it's still as if somebody's talking to you. So close now. So shh. And you hear your name being whispered very clearly, and on the clearest whisper of your name, the center stone of the 20 Stones of Thrun crumbles into dust in front of you. The glow from the rock, the stone that you're carrying, fades out in your hand. The wind dies down. The clouds start to part. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks for our next episode of Rime of the Frost Maiden. Thank you guys so much. Have an awesome night.
Woohoo!